All right, all right, all right. Give me 1 second. I'm going to tweet this out and we're going to go ahead and get going. If you guys want to join in stage, which you should, it's always a small space. Everyone that comes in here is family, so you may as well get up here and join the stage. I promise it's not that scary. But yeah, get up here. We will talk about it. It's been way too long since I've done one of these late night stonk spaces. Figured I'd go ahead and do it. Good vibes tonight. Got the poker tournament coming up this weekend as well, where we're going to be giving away up to 5 stonks for stonks holders. I know Agents was in the last one. I think that he got knocked out a little bit early in it, midway through. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought Agents was in the last one.
No, I've never
You never did
lasted.
it.
I've never lasted into a bubble on any of these NFT poker tournaments because the EV is just so positive on going all in because I'm basically entering for free that I just play too aggressively.
I feel that. So you try to go off hot at the beginning and then roll from there. If you end up getting a couple big wins, basically. We've got Future Whale in the audience. Future Whale has had a couple of good runs. I think finished in the top 3 at least once in these past couple. Feel free to come up on stage and correct me, Whale.
Yeah, I figured build. I don't want to turn this into a poker strategy because some poker chat's going to be like, Agents, you're actually stupid because I don't actually play poker. But I just feel like build the biggest chip stack as possible early on. And if I can't do that, then I just didn't waste like 2 or 3 hours of my time to get knocked out 9th or 8th or something.
I
Right.
feel that. I feel that. So if you can get a big chip stack early, then you'll play, with a little bit more strategy, a little bit more risk tolerance. Try to preserve the bag a little bit more. But if you end up, getting out early, then you just save yourself an hour or two.
Exactly. So I just go extremely, extremely aggressive at the start and play all luck. There's you don't need any chip preservation because you're not ripping in bullets for buy-ins, right?
It's true. And, that's the thing with the stonk tournament this weekend. All you have to do is get top 3 to be able to get a stonk, which, typically we've had between 50, 60, maybe 70 people that join each tourney. So, but the thing is, you get a lot of people. I feel like at least a third of the people are knocked out within 10 minutes. I'm not even kidding. And then the next third are probably knocked out in the next 15. So if you can just literally skate by, I have seen that strategy work. Again, shout out to Whale. I mean, that's what he did that last time where he was perpetually just about in last place until he wasn't. I think that he won about 7 or 8 all-ins in a row though. And I don't know what the odds on that are, but I think that's pretty damn incredibly, low percentage odds to be able to win 7 or 8 all-ins in a row. So you can chalk it up to luck, skill, whatever it is, one way or the other. The poker tourneys are fun. So if you're in here, make sure that you're here Friday. PP, I just want to apologize, man. I wanted to come up for the space. I had my AirPods in. I was at a brewery, and it was really, really loud, and I couldn't. I don't know, man. No way I could make it work without.
Hey, the fact that you're
being a
at yeah, dude,
distraction.
the fact that you're at a brewery listening to our dumbasses is it's pretty impressive.
Dude, I was waiting that the only other reason I cut out, I was waiting for a buddy to show up. So, as soon as he got there, I had to get going. But, I was there for a little bit, at least.
Yeah, we have a good
So,
time on there, man. Like a normal cast of characters come on and we just shoot the shit. It's refreshing versus like every other just spaces that take themselves like way too seriously. By the way, your space today was pretty awesome. I was listening to it. Besides the whole like Bitcoin maxis not making any sense thing.
I appreciate it, man. Occasionally I don't mind having them up there, but the thing that's funny about Bitcoin maxis are that whenever you invite one, Bitcoin maxis are a magnet. There will be others that immediately request to come up there. And there's a gravity to that. I guess they pull them in, and the conversation becomes a little bit Bitcoin centric with that. And when I say Bitcoin centric, I'm fine with it being Bitcoin centric, but almost, it becomes a little bit too much of a religion type of thing where, that's what I really feel like Bitcoin maxis become in essence, is it becomes a religion to a certain extent where they're like, this is the only one. There shall be no others. It's the greatest thing ever. And like, dude, yes, to a certain extent, I agree. But I think to be ignorant to the fact there can't be anything else that ever potentially supersedes its greatness is incredibly ignorant.
Yeah.
So anyway, but it was fun.
Yeah, you said the magic word.
Isn't the whole dream like one ecosystem cross chain, like where it just doesn't matter? Like, is that not the goal?
Not to them,
That's
agents.
somebody's dream.
Like it seems like so unrealistic to think that all these different fractured blockchains is the future, right?
My favorite argument was, Coinbase can just operate just fine if only it's sold and bought, Bitcoin only. That was my favorite argument. It's like, we shouldn't be upset with this.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, going back to it, it is what it is. I think that it's a healthy conversation occasionally bringing them up there and getting their opinions on this type of stuff, because you want a balanced perspective of everybody in the space. And as much as, the rest of us may disagree, there's a large contingent of, Bitcoin purists slash maxis that are out there that are completely against everything else. And I think it's occasionally good to just, have those conversations, listen in, and hear the other side of things. Because I think if you're not challenging yourself and your beliefs constantly, then you do get stale.
Yeah, that goes for both sides, though. Like, I don't mind listening to them, but it seems like a lot of times they don't want to listen to us at all.
Kaleo, I want to ask, while we're talking about maxis, where are the Stonk maxis, guys? 51 people in here, no retweets, no quote retweets. Okay, this man's doing 2 spaces in a day, and you can't even move your finger to the bottom right and click a button. What is wrong with you? Ask not what Kaleo can do for you, but what you can do for Kaleo and the Stonks. Hit the retweet. Can I get an amen?
Hey, amen, brother. I love it. Here's the thing. I'm not going to fully blame it on you, audience, who is listening in here right now. I will now, after Agents just gave that passionate speech. The fact that if it just sits here and there are no more retweets or comments down below, then yes, I will be heartbroken. But before that, I will chalk it up on me, because as far as, you know, being somebody that is an expert at gathering in more engagement for different spaces, like I look at these NFT spaces that these guys are hosting, dude, somehow every time there are like 500 tweets about XYZ space. Every damn time. And there are like 200 people in the space, and there will be 500 tweets about this space. And I'll look at mine, and there will be, like 500 people in the space, and, 15 tweets about this space. So I think that it's my fault for not doing a good enough job of really call to actions to the audience.
Agents is like the best hype person for that.
Yeah, I was gonna say Kaleo, but your call to action game is weak. How you ever got to a following this size? How you think you're gonna get to 600? I know it's inevitable, but damn, man, at least you can recognize the shortcomings.
Well, Agents, I'll say this, and I echo the sentiment fully. All my friends that know the fact that I have like a decent Twitter following all think it's the funniest thing in the world, because they're like, dude, you are the least likeliest person that I would have ever picked to have a large social media presence. So it is, I'm not a gamer, I'm just here by being
Yeah,
me.
try explaining to your friends that you have a large following from posting memes of cartoon penguins.
Bro, I mean, it's people don't understand it. Nobody understands it. So, but it's part of the game, man. It's part of the fun of all of this. Like I wore my Stonks shirt out tonight, and I was expecting just every single person out there at the brewery to just hound me down and ask for autographs, and somehow that didn't happen. So we're still early. Neb, what's up, man?
I'm sorry, sir. You said you had a Stonks shirt?
Yes.
Why didn't we know this before? Like what why didn't I know about this? Where does one
Wait,
get a
what
Stonks
do you
shirt?
mean by why did you not know about this? One, I tweeted it out. Like two, we have definitely talked about the merch store more than one time in its existence. I mean, I think I tweeted out the merch store literally last week after Memorial Day weekend when I tweeted out a picture of me rocking the Stonks swim
I
trunks.
saw the swim trunks, but I thought they were just like a one-off thing. I'm sorry, I don't know how to read Kaleo.
Well, bro, there's a merch store. There's a link to it. Do you think the only thing that we're gonna have in the merch store are swim trunks?
I mean, I'm hoping we get some socks, but now that I
Well,
know
bro,
there's a
yes,
merch
there
store,
are Wonky Stonk socks. Yes, there are socks.
Wonky socks.
I'll be right.
There are
I'm gonna
wonky
be right back.
socks. There's socks. They're like the hoodies are high quality. I freaking love the hoodies. I rock the hoodies. Um, like we've got hats. Lumber tweeted out the hats earlier. Honestly, I think my favorite vibe for summertime though is the bucket hat. The wonky bucket hat is pretty
You bring
clutch.
up an interesting point though, Kaleo. Like, how often do you wear crypto-related clothes out in public? And you're like, oh, somebody's totally gonna get this, but no one ever does.
Actually, it's the exact opposite, PP. Like, so I never wear crypto related clothing out in public except for occasionally the
Yeah,
stock clothing because I'm like, nobody's ever going to get this.
yeah.
Right. In the back of my mind, I'm thinking, nobody's ever going to get this. Well, when I showed up to this volunteer Young Life meeting back in January, there was, I was wearing my Wonky Stonks hoodie and this dude stops me when I get in there, and I'm meeting everybody for the first time. I haven't done Young Life, leadership in some years. I took a few years off. So I didn't know anybody in there. But a couple minutes in, this guy walks up and he's like, dude, wait, is that Wonky
No
Stonks?
way.
Like the NFT? And I was like, yeah, it is. I was like, how do you know about it? He's like, well, isn't that like Kaleo's project? He's like, yeah, I followed him for a while now, man. Back in the day, had some runs. He was like, I'm a poker player, and there are some other poker players that I know that are involved in the crypto space. And he was like, I just kind of lurk in the background. And I was like, yeah, dude, that is my project. And he dropped his plate that had his pizza on it, and he dropped his water bottle on the ground at the same time. I kid you not. He was like, dude, no way. And so that was the only time that it happened was when I was like, I wear Stonks clothing out in public because I never expect anyone to
That's so
recognize the
funny.
Stonks clothing. And that happened.
Yeah, we went to Disney a couple weeks ago with a fam, and every single day I tried to make sure I wore like a pudgy related shirt. And I had two people in the park stop me throughout the whole trip. But I did like the most memorable thing was like when you're walking through security and stuff. Like the lady, the cast member, what they call him, that works at Disney, stopped me, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, I love your shirt! Like, what is that? Is that a character?" And I said, yeah, yeah, you could say that. It's Pudgy Penguin. She's like, oh, good. It's awesome. So it made my day. You know, didn't have to tell her it was crypto related. She just liked it.
No, dude, that's the beautiful thing about the pudgies in general. And that's why it's like, again, looking back at it, one of the things I think you look at a bunch of projects, I think heading into the next bull run, and a lot of people have asked me this: what do you expect to be the most successful things heading into the next bull run, the old projects or the new? And without a doubt, I think on average, the answer is the old. But I think the flip side of that is, the cream of the crop of the old projects will lead the way, and new projects will follow. But for the most part, it will be new projects. But the cream of the crop of the old will follow. And when you look at the cream of the crop of the old, I don't know how you miss, Pudgy's being part of that conversation. So I definitely think that, they're up there.
Yeah.
And I just think it's so difficult for, like, you look across the board, man, and there are just so many projects right now that are down 95% or more from their all-time
Yeah.
highs. And they've been down there for a while, right? And like they haven't, the majority of the time that they've spent as a project has been down. It hasn't even been sideways. It's been down because they had such a hyped up initial release. It just makes it so difficult having that hyped initial, pump to come back from it. The only project that I really can think that has ever done that to a significant scale, is
Yeah.
Pudgy's, honestly.
No, I'm with you. And you kind of can look at it too, kind of like altcoins and like the market cycles on those. You look back at all the market cycles we've gone through, like the newer stuff normally has like a pump, and like there's only like 3 or 4 coins that have been around for, multiple market cycles that have sustained. So I think you're probably going to see that cream of the crop, you know, 2021, 2020 NFTs. Like I don't think there's going to be a lot to stick around. So, I mean, if you're looking, I would, try to find the ones that are making noise during the bear still, because it'll be tough for those ones that have dropped, 90, 95% to really, really make a comeback.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. It's just, you look at a bunch of those communities too, and there are remnants of it that you might see around. But overall, I think what it leads toward is just like this really, you know, it's negative for a while within the community, but then eventually that negativity just turns into silence.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you've really seen across a multitude of projects that were considered blue chips, where, like the Stonks, for instance, have never been the sexiest name as far as any project is concerned, right? Like, there are always projects that have been out there that have been sexier as far as their pump cycle than the Stonks, right? But the one thing that I'll give the credit to the Stonks are is that, dude, like if there's been any stable coin in the NFT marketplace, like it's been the Stonks. And there really is something to say about right now, like in this market, sideways can be bullish. And I think that, you look at it. I mean, honestly, I say sideways. Like, dude, if you look at the Stonks from a year ago, 1 year ago, the Stonks were like at 0.04 ETH, so it's still 5x from a year ago in terms of ETH prices, but like it is what it is, right? Like, I'm not focused on the day to day, where are they? Because like every day we're going to show up regardless, but it's one of those things where, again, it's never been like a multi ETH type of project. And I'm actually more bullish about us because of that, man, because there's never been this massive decline where there was this huge hype at the beginning that led people to leave. It's just always been about the vibes and the art, and like that's one of the things that I have been so intent upon about this community, is having that be the foundation. And that whenever everything else as far as the adoption curve starts to accelerate, it
Yeah.
happens, but there's no rush to get
I
there.
think one of the cool things too, when you look at like LedgArt and everything, you launched it as a free mint, and it kind of took a life of its own. Especially when you like limit it to like one per wallet, there's not a lot of pump and dumping you can do with a project. But like the way you did it and the way you structured it, it allowed a lot of people to get in at the very beginning, and this community started forming to where like you don't have to do as much as like a normal founder would. Like this, the community is like just really taking control of it. It's really cool.
Yeah, man. I mean, and that's all part of the structure, honestly, is looking at it like, I fully respect everything that you look at people like Luca and, Frank and, Bags. And, you can go down the list of a bunch of the founders that we know that are super active with what they're doing, Pons and WAP, et cetera. Like, Jack and what he's doing with it. But it's just, I respect that, and I think there's merit to the way that a bunch of those projects are working. But I definitely don't think that it is the only model, because you also look, and there are a bunch of other founders that started out like a bunch of those guys, and for one reason or another, their project wasn't able to gain momentum. And I think that it becomes a more taxing responsibility whenever you start to have something that is focused around some type of utility. And as much as I respect the utility in the space, like, I think that it's, there's merit to be said for building a project that is not focused around utility. And, looking at the art perspective, and, really focused on just building that strong community that, is centered around the art. And it almost, what it feels like in a sense is they're different. I feel like different sectors of the NFT community. And what it feels like, what the Stonks are, is that they're their own little mini sector of the NFT community. And it's just a slow build, a slow grind with it. But it's one of those things that when it gains momentum, that it will gain momentum. And, like, I think the funniest thing to me is the thing that blows my mind is that I've got 590,000 people that follow me, and a lot that engage in a lot of my content, and that are part of the quote unquote Kaleo army, that are there through whatever, and that say they believe. And there's some string of that where a lot of the people that engage with me, follow me, they'll willingly dump tons of ETH in something like Loyal or PSYOP or whatever Ben.eth launches for the gamble of it. And, I see that, like, some part of crypto in general is just the casino aspect of it. But, there's a hesitancy to have any type of patience toward the long play of something like the Stonks, where it's like, hey, I've obviously showed up toward this each and every week. But, the way that I look at it is, and my mission with showing up each and every week is just sprinkling seeds, right? Like, that's my whole vision that I have right now with the Stonks. And, with maturing them into something that I think will turn out to be something great, is if you continue to plant seeds, you don't know exactly where they're going to land. But, if you plant enough and you do it consistently, eventually you're going to find the good soil, right? And, like, that good soil will eventually grow roots. And when the time is right, like, I think that it will grow into something beautiful. And that's really the vision with the Stonks as a whole. It's like, it's not about doing anything crazy and about having any hype cycle to get there. It's about setting expectations for what they are, and, just slowly but surely, planting the seeds and being patient from there.
Think 10 years out, not 10 days out. That's the way we think. What's up, agents? Dude, I just co-hosted that for you, Kileo. I'm sorry.
No, you're killing it.
Nah, appreciate it. I texted PP. I'm like, PP, you need to hold it down because I'm going to be in the shower. And I did put you guys on the Bluetooth speaker just so I could have your sweet dulcet tones hitting my earwaves as the warm water rushed after me. It was a very good experience. I wanted to kind of ask, and sorry to shift the discussion, Kaleo, but I want your honest to goodness opinion on this. Not from a chart perspective so much, although that might play into it, but just an overall conviction. I found myself this weekend actually shilling Polygon to a normie friend. And
You
when I
mean the
say
security?
hold on, yes, I mean the security. Not financial advice, but I mean when I say normie, this he knows I'm into crypto. He knows I'm into NFTs. His involvement in crypto goes so far as like 3 years ago on Coinbase, he opened an account and he just threw $10 at every coin that Coinbase has. And now every time Coinbase lists a new coin, he throws another $10 at that coin. And surprisingly, he's actually up a decent amount. And he's like, what's your honest to goodness opinion on any of these? And I said, outside the big three, Polygon looks like the best play, honestly. And I'm only saying that. Let me give justification for this. Like, Reddit avatars, I've gotten into fights with people about how NFTs are stupid, and they have a Reddit digital collectible as a profile picture. They don't even know that it's an NFT. They don't even know that it's on Polygon. I mean, you got the Pudgies using Polygon for their traits on the back end when Instagram was dancing around towards the end of the bull of having a NFT marketplace, a digital collectible marketplace. That was all going to be Polygon. The transactions are fast. I'm really trying to find any negatives here. So I guess there's my little monologue and for this long ass question. What do you think about Polygon?
I mean, I see a lot of development in the Polygon ecosystem, and I think that it will be one of the L1s stick around. Um, so I don't know, man. It's a tough discussion because I think that it was a little bit like it's a higher beta play to ETH, and I think with that, you know, basically higher beta means as ETH swings up, it can swing up more or as the market swings up, it can swing up more. As it swings down, it can swing down more. I still think that ETH is the better play personally, but if you're looking at a shotgun of what can potentially survive through the next cycle, DCA into, and still have a decent opportunity for growth from here, I don't think Polygon's a bad play. I really think that it, because it still does encompass into the ETH ecosystem. And again, just looking at the overall progression, development for everything with it, I don't think Polygon NFTs are going to go away either. And a big part of my bull thesis for the next cycle are is the NFT marketplace. And if you're looking at what I think a lot of companies are going to do to enter into it, I don't think a lot of companies are going to launch on ETH. I think a lot of companies are going to look for what these lower transaction fee chains are. And right now, Polygon is definitely a leader in that space. So I don't think that it's necessarily a bad shill, but it's one of those where I'd be like, dude, just average into this, right? Like, there's no rush to just buy this massive bag of Polygon, because the one thing that I've learned about alts in general is, dude, while the market is going sideways or down, like, they will continue to bleed lower than what you think they will. I was in that boat with ADA for a long time, and it was painful watching it fluctuate between 3 cents and 10 cents.
I appreciate that perspective. And the only other thing I will say for why I'm even asking, or why I would even shill my normie friend on it, is thinking back to 2021, end of 2021, the peak of the NFT bull market. I just remember being in spaces with quote unquote thought leaders and myself, and a lot of people were parroting the opinion that NFTs themselves or blockchain itself will never go mass adoption until the friction is removed. Like, trying to teach people about seed phrases and wallets, like, it really has to operate in the back end and not be so much consumer facing. Like, you don't need to set up your own server in order to access the internet, so to speak, to draw an analogy. And I remember even speaking those words, that like the future that we need to build towards is frictionless, and the average consumer not realizing that they're interacting with blockchain on the back end. And it wasn't until I got into this stupid fight on Reddit people will remember the day because I've been talking about this stupid freaking fight in a Reddit comment section that I got into. All these people are shitting on NFTs, and they literally have NFTs as a profile picture, and they have no idea. And like, it upset me at first, and then it was like a little light bulb going off. I'm like, this is what I asked for. This is what I wanted. And it seems like the only chain that's really made inroads there is like Polygon. And I'm not going to become like a Polygon maxi. Probably doesn't help that I co-host a space every week with an actual Polygon maxi. But I don't know, man. I'm just feeling, dare I say, bullish on Polygon. Not financial advice. I eat crayons. If you saw my returns, you would be like, nothing this guy says has any bearing or basis on any action I want to take. I have to add that disclaimer. Not
Well,
financial advice.
agents, if I were, this is where, I apologize in advance, and I'll probably be wrong here, but, honestly, I think that Polygon could easily go another 50% lower to BTC might be extreme. I'm just talking in terms of BTC price, maybe 30-40% lower in terms of BTC price, in the short term / when I say short term, the next like year um, before it rebounds. So, but that's one of the things that anybody has to expect investing in any shitcoin is that, like, there are seasons, right? And people joke around about alt season. I think that we had the longest alt season that I've ever seen this last cycle. But right now, it is not a full-blown alt season. When it's alt season, dude, alts are popping off left and right. Heck, the NFT market is popping off left and right. Right now, it is not an alt season. So what that means is decent time to stack high conviction plays, but it's not the best time to FOMO into anything.
I appreciate that, and I have been dollar cost averaging. I learned my lesson from GameStop about just throwing huge stacks at something and
Bro,
FOMOing in. So
I was looking through spaces earlier, what spaces were being hosted, and there was actually one. I took a screenshot of this. The name of it, I need to tweet it out, was actually, let's see this, GME earnings prep, and in the description it said GameStop is my only stock. So there's still people out there that are GameStop maximalists. And
bro, you want to talk about religions? They'll give Bitcoin maxis a run for their money.
Dude, I mean, it's so funny looking at it. Actually, what's funny? Whoever that Joker Mark Cohodes is, I don't know what the hell he's ever done, but I know he's famous for something. But I remember being in a space with him November or December of 2021. And I had just loaded up with like 10,000 AMC calls, and the entire AMC community was like, who the hell is this Kaleo guy? I got accepted into the AMC space as this honorary speaker, and Mark Cohodes was one of the guys up there. You know what they were talking about during that space? Was that the big next thing for AMC to take it to the next level was to get into the NFT game. And what was their NFT going to be? Well, it was basically ownership via stocks for the company. And I just stopped them. And I was like, you realize that, one, what you're saying is illegal. Two, like, it is not practical. You think you're going to be distributing these dividends through NFTs with like a publicly traded company? Get the fuck out of here. Like, a decentralized company can't even do that right now. Like, they can, but they're not doing it efficiently or effectively. This is the dumbest thing that I've ever heard. And then, Mark would rebuttal back with, well, like, that's just ignorant. What you're saying right now is really ignorant, and it's very rude, because I really think this could be a go-ahead. And I was like, Mark, tell me what you know about NFTs. What is it that you know about NFTs other than the fact that there's a hype cycle right now around it?
He's like, well, there's potential. And I just remember it being the most mind-numbing conversation of my life. And even though I probably had more AMC exposure than the majority of the people in that space combined, honestly, probably everybody in that space combined, like, I just remember looking and walking out of it, and I was like, I literally said before I left the stage as a speaker, this is the dumbest shit that I have ever heard in my life. We deserve to all go to zero. And, a few weeks later, those calls did go to zero. So it happened.
Wait,
But that should have been my moment where I actually acted on what I saw was happening.
did you have 10,000 contracts?
I had close to 10,000 AMC contracts. Yes.
Holy shit.
I had about like $2 million worth of contracts.
This is like Star Wars Phantom Menace. There's always a bigger fish.
Dude, those were the days.
GameStop was size, man.
Those were the days that Unusual Whales would tag me on my options activity like consistently. That I got like an LTID, which is a large trader identification number that you have to register with the SEC for trading above a certain threshold, in value for certain stocks. Like, I got all that stuff. That was all just complete degenerate, stupid days.
Is that why that random LLC in Texas is getting put on a thread like it's some big smoking gun?
Hey, bro, I don't even know who that is.
All right, my bad. Sorry, maybe I shouldn't even brought it up. I still thought that was funny. If you want to talk about people talking about things they don't know about.
No, man. So, like, there's some funny shit looking back at that. And, point being, with like the AMC GME type of crowd, there are people that are just absolutely insane that are out there. It's not just the cryptocurrency space. Gary Gensler has a lot more to look into than just what's happening here in the land of crypto.
Do the securities laws have to do with goldfish?
I want to kick it over quickly while we've got him on stage. I want to kick it over to BTC Art first, and I'm going to go over to Q. BTC Art, what's up,
I just want to say love and light, and I cannot believe Cube is in the space and up ready to say something, because I have missed you and I love you, and you're one of the greatest humans and one of the greatest wonks. Is that a thing? Wonks? Wonkies? Whatever it is, it's been great to listen to this space. We are so primed and so ready to just vibe and keep vibing harder, because there's no way we're a security. There's no way we're anything. We're just art people who vibe and vibe harder. We don't have to worry about any of this stuff. So it feels so bullish. It's I don't know who B-Ways is, right? I have no idea. Or why he keeps blowing my mind.
If you do know who B-Ways is, hit that comment button in the bottom right corner and tell us, because we all want to know.
Because he keeps blowing my mind. But if he's bullish on stocks, I'm bullish on stocks. Wonky Stonks all the way. And I just want to say how much I love you guys and appreciate you. What a fun day of trading it's been. Last couple days. I'm going to throw it back because I want to hear from the one and only Cube. Please be there. I love you.
Jesus Christ. No, what a pleasant surprise. Good evening. Greetings and salutations. Just got in from the hot tub, watching some Ted Lasso out there, and I see there's a wonky space going. A little bit three sheets to the wind, and here we are. I hear agents talking about polygons. And I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, I'm the only one. I'm a fucking cube, and I'm on stage here. That's a polygon. Rhombuses, tetrahedrons, quadrilaterals. I mean, let's just keep rolling with it. But up here's like a really nice sweep going on, and always bullish on the Stonks. You know, it's just such a tight knit community, and I've said it a million times before. But once you join it, you know, it kind of sticks like glue, and you know, everybody's unbelievably great. I've been busy IRL with the new gig and whatnot, but everybody, you know, always welcomes me back with open arms, and I'm still a diamond handser, so that's what I got. It's good to be here.
Love to hear it, man. Cube, you know, we need to stick a few new cubes on you because I'm sure there's some that exist out there that are just waiting that don't know about, you know, what is out there with the cube legend that need to be introduced to it. Lander, what's up?
What's going on, boys? Hope everyone's having a fantastic Tuesday night. I'm not sure if it was mentioned, but the Wonky Stonks did get into number 4 trending on OpenSea for a little bit there. Now they're out of the top 10, but that was exciting for a little bit. But there's also a guppy on OpenSea for 0.89. If anyone wants to grab that, now's your chance. Probably won't be one listed that cheap for a while. But yeah.
The thing I will say that I noticed, like, it's honestly with everything in the NFT space, right? And really, this kind of applies to the crypto space as a whole, but especially the NFT space, is that it happens in slow motion where, you know, there's not like this massive amount of liquidity for a long period of time that exists there. And, you know, when you're talking about collecting art, collecting whatever else, I don't think that it necessarily needs to be the same type of thing as when you're talking about a fungible token that has some type of utility for a network. So I think they are different spaces and that there is a different mindset that you have that enters into it. You can look into it. It's like, you know, there's hype around what happened tonight. Like, you know what it took to be able to get that hype and basically 2x the Stonk floor was like less than 5 ETH, right? Like, you know, even if it bleeds back from where it is again, right? Like, say that somehow, you know, like one direction or the other. Say it goes through, great. You know, it is what it is. But say that it bleeds back. Right now, I think everything with the NFT space is slowly and surely, you know, when or when volume returns to the marketplace as a whole, it's about being well positioned in the projects that you think have the biggest chance of running because it does not take much volume to be able to move those projects, right? So, you know, if you are at a certain period and you're like, you know, oh man, this thing's not performing the way I think that it should, I'm kind of getting tired, I'm getting bored, there's this other opportunity, and you dump that onto the market, you know, it's not always necessarily that easy to be able to enter back in with that liquid of a position because as easily, you know, as difficult as it is to exit without X amount of slippage, it's that difficult to re-enter with that amount of slippage not being there. And if you are not there the day that the market really starts to trend back, I mean, it's almost impossible to be able to at that point. And that's the thing that I think a lot of people don't understand is that it's all about just patience and positioning yourself for when that day gets here. And, you know, a lot of people may say, man, that sounds like almost, you know, going back to the religion aspect of things, the day will come that the NFT marketplace gets some type of volume again. And you need to be there for the day that that happens. But it's truth, right? If you are in this space, I don't see how there's any way that you deny the fact that NFTs will be resurgent and will be one of the leaders of the crypto ecosystem as a whole, as far as opportunity wise, this next cycle. So it's about positioning yourself and being patient for that and saying, okay, you know, like whatever I enter in here, as far as whatever the fluctuation is, it's not about today. It is about that period that you see in the future as far as when the entire marketplace starts to move again.
All I'm saying is I have 60 stonks and I feel underexposed.
I'm literally shopping for stonks right now. I feel so underexposed. Stonks are inevitable, guys.
Amen. So, yeah, that's been the message, and like that was even the message the past couple of weeks, and I'll say it again. A couple weeks ago, it was funny. Like 2 Fridays ago, we had a space where we hosted it, and I remember Big God talking about how hyped he was. Puck said the same thing because the stocks were back to like 0.18, 0.19, and then somebody there was a large sale for some stonks that followed that the next week, and the price was back down to 0.11. And now you look at it, it's back to 0.2. And dude, what I'm telling everybody in here is just forget all the noise, right? Like, right now is not the period to be focused on. Obviously, slow strength is a good thing, but the best thing to me is the strength of the community as a whole, regardless of where we are, what that number on the screen says right now, right? Like, there are a lot of people in here that just appreciate the art, appreciate the vibes that are there for that, and that are sticking around for the longer term vision regardless, right? Like I think there's value in that history, there's value in that community. And that's why I'm never too concerned about where the numbers are. Like it's about trusting the process. Shout out Philly.
Bro, let me just say, man, I saw you tweet Philly on the timeline today. I just want to know, where the fuck did you get that spelling from, bro? I was sitting there, I was like, I'm dead. Dude.
I would say I was drunk, but yeah, I completely messed it up. Just a complete spelling error. I don't know why or where I got the IE. It came to mind, but it reflected I think it reflected the degeneracy of the city that I was spelling. So I think there actually was something that did come to light from that mistake. There was some truth in the error.
Fair, bro. Philly is a city filled with degenerates. I can confirm.
Yeah, me and Pickard had the shortest game of golf in the history of golf on Friday.
Bro, we pulled up at the golf course for like the latest tee time. We got on the first tee box, and it just was like a thunderstorm with like 50-mile-per-hour winds blowing right back in our face. Lander hit one tee shot like pretty straight. I hit mine. The third guy just didn't even hit. He was like, "Fuck this, we're not playing."
Yeah, it didn't go too well.
That's funny, man.
So you got a rain check at least, right?
Yeah, it worked out. All right, Cube.
So
Cube is a scratch golfer in this group.
Damn, really?
But BT's a player too, though.
Oh wow!
If the day that a Wonky Ryder Cup happens, BT and I are the captains. He obviously represents Europe.
Dude, hell fucking
I'll represent
I'm all
the
for
American
that,
side.
Cube.
Yeah, with this freaking Irish jigs that he'll constantly be singing throughout the entire tournament.
I'm live tour, baby.
We are one now, then. Oh, Jesus Christ. It needs to happen, though. We just need to get it on the docket. Put it like a year out so we can just dedicate to it.
1 year. Is this recorded?
Yes.
Okay, never mind.
I will say, if anybody actually has the memory to go back and find this space and find the exact quote that you were saying, and it's that relevant within the next year, then we did something right. So you may as well just say it anyway.
Speak it into reality, BT. We BT, now we have to fucking start working on it.
I say 1 year from now at the Blessings, let's go. Whoever's ready, it's got to be a Stonk holder. And we've got two captains. We got Cube, we got BTC, and the other golfers, and it's gonna be legendary. There's no reason not to, but you're gonna have to find yourself in flyover country. which is hard to get people to. But I promise it's worth it.
It'll be.
Hey, wait. Pause the mic real quick. Pause the mic. I just heard a rumor that the man, the myth, the legend, Rooster, who just hopped up on stage, is about to sweep the wall of 74FF61.
Let's go!
Whoa. What up, Stonks? I'm kind of catching up. Just got back. I had to do a little bit of wage cucking today. So I see we have a sweep, right? I'm still catching up here. Give me just a little bit. So nice floor, 0.2. We like that. And yeah, I heard a legend swept. Who was it? I can't believe I don't remember his name already. Someone help me out here.
Crazy Jack or something like that.
No, Ricky Sanchez. That's who it is. Rick Sanchez.
Same thing.
Yeah. Legend. So I'm sweeping what now?
The Great Wall of 74FF61.
Oh, the 0.2.
Who has 45 stonks listed at 0.2.
So hold on. Pause the. I would if I had enough capital, but that's just out my window. But I did see you challenged to a 5 ETH sweep by the sweeper himself, I do believe. And also on top of that, I do remember saying you weren't going to let Lumber catch up to you. And he's giving away stonks so he doesn't pass you. So I don't know. I think it's...
Dude, I'll say this once again. Lumber can add a lot more stonks and still not pass me. So don't worry.
What the... All right, which one's your alt then?
So back to it.
Oh, wait. Are you Ricky Sanchez? No.
No, I'm not Ricky Sanchez. I don't have any alts. I don't know what we're talking about here. So, let's go back.
If I want to play, I hope to God Rooster is in this state for the poker tournament on Friday because he'll get bounced in like the first rotation of the table.
Sir, actually, I've been playing poker every morning for the past week, and just like coming up a stack and leaving. So I don't know. See me at the table, Cube. Nice to see you here. Actually.
I'll see. Goddamn.
Hey,
every one of these.
You've been MIA.
We still haven't been at the same table.
Yeah, you've been MIA for a minute. Glad to see
Yeah,
you.
we just have a poker tourney lead. She's just here for the poker tourneys, and that's it. Like
that's exactly. I'm just here for the Kaleo giveaways, and then I'm out like a fat kid in dodgeball.
I joined Web3 to play people in poker for their NFTs.
Especially ones that they don't have to stake up against you for the tournament. Right. Hey, actually, one other thing I do want to say about like what you're saying with Lumber, dude, my dream is for people to pass me as far as my wallet, right? Like, I don't think that I'm not going to say it's not the healthiest thing, but I think that it's healthy when there are other people that believe in the project so much that they do invest and collect to that extent, right? Like, I think that is a sign of strength for the project. So I am all for Lumber, setting that record and going for it and passing me. Like, there is nothing that I think is, a negative with that whatsoever. So like, I'm excited for the day that Lumber makes it happen. And again, I won't let him last. There will be a day, definitely, where no matter what happens, where the Kaleo Stonk wallet continues to accrue. I am not done buying stonks. It's just a matter of when that can happen, feasibly again, to the extent that I was able to last year. I will be back to that point. I'm going to manifest it. So up until that point, I'll let Lumber get the head start that he wants to have because I'm going to catch him.
Has anyone met Lumber yet? Does anyone know the man, the myth, and
No,
the
I
legend?
don't think so. But you know what I was hearing when Kaleo was speaking? I was hearing pretty much the same thing Pick God was saying when um, Puck came up on stage and started
Yeah, I had to
rapping.
go there, Rooster.
So that's all I heard.
Bro, I still
Pick
can't
up. You
believe he
didn't even
did
give
that.
any bars
I
back.
know. I was like, I was starstruck, man. I was like, fuck. Puck really just came right at me.
I was expecting for something to happen there, and there was nothing, so I had to fill the void with my mediocrity. Um, so I apologize again for anybody that had to sit through that last time. Not through Puck's session. Puck's session was incredible. Mine was incredibly mediocre. And I will recognize that at least, right? Like, I'm not going to sit there and say it was anything that it wasn't, but it was off the top of the head.
No, I thought yours was pretty good, Calio.
Yeah, that means the world to me. So okay, I want to hear, what are the odds? Who do we have as the odds-on favorite for the poker tourney this Friday? Is it somebody that we know, or is it going to be a dark horse again, a no name?
Dude, do not count me out this Friday, man. Every single time I've played, I've been at work, and people are coming up to me, and it's hard for me to stare at the screen the entire time. But this day, I'm off, so I'm going to grind. I'm going to be locked in, so I'm coming for those stonks.
Well, one thing that I'll say about this poker tourney versus the rest, I think that this is the biggest heads up that we've given of a poker tourney by far. So maybe, we'll see. I know the market as a whole is a little bit flatter than general, but I think the Stonks vibe and everybody that's in the community is about as active as ever. So, I don't know, maybe there will be less of a turnout, but also because of the fact that we have announced this so far in advance for people to clear their calendars to make sure they can play, maybe there's a chance there are a few more people to the competition that we haven't seen before.
To poke Rooster again, I mean, he has consistently underperformed for his alleged pedigree in poker and table games in the wonky tournaments. So I think he's probably due, to make it to, a
I'm
final
I
going to
mean, I
give him
wasn't
table.
top
trying to
five,
be
but not top three.
greedy, bro. Like when it's like the free stonks, like yeah, I don't want to take them all, right? So in the past, yeah, but people start wanting to poke, and now I just might have to, whip it out.
Rooster, you remember the last one? I think it was like an extra 3 chunks I was willing to give you if you made the top 3.
Uh,
Something like that. Maybe it was just an extra 1 or 2, whatever it was. I offered to basically double the pot for you if you made it. And you got, I think, top 6, but you didn't make it to the top 3.
yeah.
Joke.
And I put a price on Rooster's head. So I said whoever eliminates Rooster gets an extra stock. So that was also fun.
Yeah. All right, we'll see y'all Friday.
Oh man, dude, good times. Yeah, dude, I just wanted to host one of these. It's been a minute, and unfortunately, I don't have all night to keep rolling with it. But it's been a fun hour, and I just want to give a shout out again to Rick Sanchez. And again, one way or the other, say, dude, regardless of what we wake up and where the floor price of anything is, the stocks are inevitable, right? Like, this isn't a 1 to 2 day thing. This isn't a 1 to 2 week thing, a 1 to 2 month, or even 2 year thing, right? Like, I believe in the Stonks, and I really believe in the vision, the history, and what they represent. And like, I look at this for where we'll be the next decade, and that's the way that I do base the decisions, the way everything that happens around the Stonks are. And I look at that from the sustainability perspective that I think a lot of other projects just don't have in their real vision. And one way or the other, again, man, like, the songs are inevitable. So, enjoy the ride, and we will see you this Friday.
Wonky Stonks are inevitable.